You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and what a time we're having tonight. Geez, the new people coming through. I can't wait to learn more. And here we have the amazing Helen Bidgood. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to Out of the Fog, Donnie.
Oh my God, it's a pleasure. I wish that I had a shoe cam so that we can just truly acknowledge the fashion happening here. Look, there they are. Look, there they are right there. Kick them up. Okay. Boom. Now, we'll talk about the shoes.
There's a story.
Yeah, well, I like to hear it. Let's just get that out of the way and we'll jump right into the meat of it all, you know? Go ahead.
Well, the shoes are part of tourism for Newfoundland and Labrador. And these shoes are designed by John Fluvoy. I'll spell that F-L-U-E-V-O-G, John, in case you're shopping in Toronto or other places. He's from LA.
Okay.
And the shoes are made in Portugal, and we have a history of the Portuguese, 500-year history of the Portuguese and the White Fleet, so I'm proud of that. And it was the idea of Zita Kops from the Fogo Inn. And John actually came here, I understand, walked the barrens of the Fogo Island, and these are the colors that he saw, and put them in leather, and here they are, promoting Fogo Island and Newfoundland and Labrador tourism.
Girl, if you got those off of the back shelf of Aldo, I wouldn't have known the difference. But look at the story attached. And from the shoes right up to the head, we're going to jump into what you do for so many people who come here. Tours by Helen. Custom tour times. Tell me everything.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm an ambassador for Newfoundland and Labrador, for promoting Newfoundland and Labrador. I always have been. But now this is a self-appointed position.
There's no online course that you did? No 2-week thing? No?
I think it's probably Newfoundland hospitality.
Yes.
You know, we all got that basic Newfoundland hospitality. So I found myself being at a coffee shop. I overhear someone speaking, and the next thing I have them before my coffee is finished, we're on top of Signal Hill. So I was doing this for years, and obviously I like doing it because I volunteered and I did it for free. And I met lots of interesting people. I met Sonia from the Spanish Navy. That was in 2016, and I meet them at the cafe. They're just looking for free Wi-Fi. And then I meet them, and then I take them on tour. And they were doing training here. There were 7 ships in the harbor that year. So then another time I was at the Basilica Church. Was just driving, and they announced on the radio, hey, at 10 o'clock there's a mass at the Basilica. And do you know what it was for? And I didn't know this until 2017, but the Portuguese Navy ship, they alternate every 2 years, a different ship. They come here every September in our port and have a service in front of the Lady of Fatima, which they gave to our city of St. John's in 1955 at the 100th anniversary of the Basilica, to remember all the fishermen that were lost at sea from the White Fleet. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
So I ended up there, and of course then I have to meet everybody. Everyone's in their white suits and they're playing the trumpets. It was quite beautiful. So now I'm the official tour guide. Again, tying in with the shoes from Portugal. So things like that were happening, and I totally enjoyed. I love talking, I love telling stories, and I love meeting people. I like to travel myself, so when I see someone in our city, you know, I want to give them the best of what we have to offer. So I felt then there was a little niche for me, and then I started a small business in 2018.
Did you?
Yeah.
What a precarious time to start a business just before many things went on we will not speak of by name.
Yeah, so then in 2018, I tested the water, you know, for my small business, and I got some phone calls. I was excited if I got one.
Yeah,
so I got one phone call. I was, okay, that's great. So, I'm properly registered and licensed with the Newfoundland and Labrador tourism.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is the guidebook. It's called the Traveler's Guide 2021.
Okay.
And anyone in Newfoundland or Labrador, anyone who wanting to come to Newfoundland and Labrador, rather, right, just get this book everything is in here. All the attractions, everything, all across Grossmore, Fogo Island, everything. And this is also on the website, online. You don't have to get the book, but it's also online.
Sure.
So if you wanted to reach me, for example, you open up the website, there's destinations, so you could say Corner Brook, or for me, St. John's.
Yeah, right.
And then you say the plans. So for me, you would say tours, I'm looking for a tour, but you could also put in their boat tour and get boat tours. So everything is here. So
it's quite a piece of work.
yeah, so this year is Come Home Year, 2022.
Don't we know it?
Yeah.
Are you getting much of people reaching out, being like, hey, we're coming here, we're coming? Because I'll tell you what, there are some hospitality-based organizations that I'm related to, and the number of emails and phone calls coming in about this summer, it is beyond. Are you experiencing the same?
Not yet. I have to talk about Joey Smallwood for 1966 when he had the Come Home Year.
Yeah, right, the last time we did that.
Yeah, so the funny thing was that this is why we have all the Holiday Inns across Newfoundland, because Joey built the Holiday Inns for the Newfoundlanders coming home. So of course, the Newfoundlanders didn't stay in the Holiday Inns, they stayed with their parents at their homes. So that's how we got Holiday Inns across Newfoundland and Labrador.
But the Holiday Inn is a national chain, isn't it? It is.
Yes,
right.
it is.
And he decided to bring them all here.
Yeah. So, but I think this year is going to be, I'm wishing everyone great success. I think it's good for us to be promoting that. And if anyone wants to call me, I'm up for a private tour. I think a lot of people might be getting their families to do that.
Well,
but sometimes their families are working or busy.
Of course.
And I'm certainly there to fill that need. And everybody else. So also I found, like, I'm a small business and small private custom tours, but there's a real ripple effect with the tourism. Like, we're hearing now that our Newfoundland and Labrador tourism is worth $2 billion.
That's the truth.
Yes, so I've found my own experience. Well, first of all, I have to start off with coffee, so that's a coffee shop, right?
Oh,
for myself.
Coffee shop life. I love hanging out. Well, that's where we met.
I think that's where we met, over coffee. And then every town I go to, wherever I'm going to on my tour that day, I book a local restaurant. And then all the tourists want to buy gifts,
of course,
right? Souvenir. So then I bring them to gift shops and direct them to gift shops. And then sometimes before they come, I book them. Some of our restaurants, you need reservations ahead, so I do that. I book them in musicals, I book them in theaters, and I take a lot of people to art galleries. I've sold a lot of art on my own private tours.
Wow.
So that's the ripple effect of not just me having my tour,
right,
but the economy that goes just from that. And again, I'm just one person small.
Of course.
So it's, and then the hotel and the B&B. So it all adds up.
Listen, the hospitality, tourism, cultural component of what makes this place special and unique is just beyond any other industry type you can name. And yet sometimes a lot of us in the province are very much focused on natural resource industries or things of that nature. What's your advice for decision makers across the province and even nationally when it comes to where the money really comes from as it pertains to culture and tourism? What would you have to say to them?
Well, I'm saying that our economy is bringing in $2 billion, so that's a big pocket
That's a big
of
pocket
money.
Of money.
So I think we've got the advantage of just being a beautiful province, and we don't have a lot of infrastructure or historic sites here. You know, like I've had people here from Italy touring, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to show them? Because I've been to Europe and Spain, and the buildings, the architecture, like 800-year-old churches and cathedrals. So I'm thinking, like, they might not really like this tour, you know. So then I asked them, you know, what do they want or what do they like?
Of course.
And I always ask everybody what is their passion as well, because that way I direct them again to the sales. If they're into art, I'll bring them to an art. If they're into horses, I'll bring them to see the Newfoundland ponies, right?
Yeah.
So the person answered me that it was actually our nature. It was just the ocean. It was the wide open spaces. Just be able to go on a beach and be the only person there. You know, you can't do that in other places.
I know, it's
and
a
we take
luxury.
that for granted.
We do.
But some of the best moments that I've had on my tours have just been that. people just sitting quietly. I had this gentleman, Joseph from Malta, he was 77. And I brought him to this quiet place. You could just drive up and there's the ocean, right? And he said, Helen, I don't want to go any further on the tour. I don't know where we're going, but I could just sit here for the rest of the day. It reminds me of my youth when I was in Malta, right? So, and then with my tours, I have the privilege of doing that because I have the luxury of time, because it's my time.
That's right.
So then I can let him sit. I say, yeah, Joseph, we're not in a hurry. My motto is I'm built for comfort, not for speed.
Not with those heels.
And I'm a talker, not a walker.
I love it. I love it.
So, yeah, so Newfoundland's got an awful lot to offer the world. And again, for the, I'm just new again in this industry, but I've had every province. Most of our tourists are coming from Ontario and Quebec.
I know, I hear that a lot.
I think it's about 85%, Donnie.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I have had tours from the other provinces as well, and so far I've had 7 states from the United States, and from Europe I've had Scotland, England, Portugal, Spain, Germany, Italy, Kenya, Malta, Australia. So people are coming here from all over the world.
I'll tell you what, they're lucky to have you, and so are we. Will you come back again sometime?
I'll be back.
Oh, will you? Famous last words.
Yes.
I'll sing you a song, you know, just a line of it anyway, about the Portuguese. And there's a song, maybe you want to research it after, and it's called Saltwater Charlies. I'm not going to sing it to you guys. I'm not going to break the TV on you. Yeah, but there's so much Portuguese history. Maybe we'll come back another time and talk more about that.
I love talking about our connection with the Portuguese on my tours.
So cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Well, we'll do it again.
Thank you for Out of the Fog. And thank you, Donnie, for keeping the community pulse.
I love it. And don't thank me. Thank all the volunteers and the amazing staff.
And all your team.
I'm just being told what to do here, you know? Listen, thank you so much. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back to wrap the show after the break.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.